Talk Radio 1370 presents The Shift Economy. Get ready for some common sense clarity and solutions from your hosts, Paul Harmon and Ricky Neer.
Hello, everyone. This is Paul Harmon. I'm one of your hosts. I'm a financial coach and strategist with the Renaissance Companies. Our business is local and our show is live. You're listening to The Shift Economy, the show that exposes the ugly truths about outdated traditional thinking. And as the Proverbs say, I like to say, without consultation, plans are frustrated, but with many counselors, they succeed. Before I get started, I'm going to break a little protocol here. I want to say hello to some friends out there. Esto lo voy a decir en español para todos mis amigos que vinieron de España. ¿Qué es lo que iba a decir? Les mando saludos. Okay, now, simple translation to all my friends from Spain that I just finished having a little reunion with. I said hello to them, and I stammered a little bit in between because I all of a sudden forgot what I was going to say. You know why? It's because in the beginning, Ricky, you were fussing at me the last show. You were talking about my voice, whether it was going up or sultry or something or other. It was kind of bizarre.
How deep it was or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
A radio voice.
But in any event, well, for all you listeners out there, we have an incredible lineup for you today. The theme for the show is going to be mostly about internet marketing. We're going to be talking about social media, which I think to most people seems to be sort of like a black box so that they don't understand it. We have what I consider to be some of the finest in the industry, or if not the finest in the industry. We have Mike Dillard with us today. This is where we're supposed to have that applause from that sound effects, but we don't have. Come on, yay! Golf clap. We also have Sean Legge and Kurt Malley as well. Did you find it? Did you find that sound effect? Yeah, there we go. As long as you don't use a toilet flush one, because I know we have one of those as well. But in any event, one of the things that we want to talk about is for those folks who have ever considered launching their business online. We're going to unlock some of the key elements. We're going to be talking about that. And again, the folks that we have here, we're amongst really good company because they've done a bang-up job with their particular business. So without any further ado, I want to introduce Mike Dillard first, who is really got quite the following. Hi, Mike.
How's it going? Glad to be here again.
Yeah, it's love to have you back here, man.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Hey, listen, if you don't mind, and I know that you've been on before, but I'm sure there's a lot of people that haven't heard your story. Just sort of like in a nutshell, if you can tell our listening audience, how you got started, and what were you doing? What was sort of like what I asked you outside in terms of what was going through your head as far as when you decided to use technology, to take your business to another level, and then that epiphany that you had as far as then going out and then marketing the recipe and showing people how that applies to almost any business.
Yeah, sure. I got started as an entrepreneur back in the end of college because I realized that, hey, not real interested in doing the 9-to-5 job thing and like fast cars and need to figure out a way to pay for those, right? So,
well, vices help.
Yeah. So got started in the network marketing industry, Mary Kay, Amway, Herbalife, companies like that back in the day, and really did not have a lot of fun in those because it was all about referring products to your friends and family members, trying to sell them on stuff, and I never enjoyed that process. I always felt like a used car salesman. So I started to study direct response and online marketing techniques, specifically attraction marketing, and the whole paradigm was how do you get your target audience, your prospects and your ideal customers to come to you instead of you trying to chase them down? How do you become the hunted instead of the hunter?
Yeah, because literally people do feel chased. Almost they see you coming whenever you're marketing something like that, and they kind of run the other way.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. It's very awkward, and nobody likes to do that. But that was in 2005 and started to learn online marketing techniques using attraction marketing. And I literally went from dead broke, waiting tables at P.F. Chang's to a 7-figure income within the next 18 months by using these techniques. And we just put up a couple of basic websites online, started doing some AdWords through Google AdWords, and today we have a list of well over 1 million readers around the world, and
good God,
tens of thousands of customers and 2 offices and 15 employees, and we just teach this to other small business owners around the world and retail businesses here in Austin, whomever. If you sell something and if you own a business, we really teach you how to attract your customers to you. So you have an endless supply of revenue at that point.
Hey, listen, while you're on that thought, we have actually a caller who couldn't wait. He's already calling in.
All right.
Is he on the line? Caller, go ahead.
Yeah. Hi, Paul and Ricky. This is Doug.
Hello, Doug.
How are you?
Awesome.
And I'd had some conversations with Sean earlier in the week, and one question kept popping into my mind when I saw the list of guests today, which is it's more about as you move to this shifted, business owner, because the whole theme obviously is a shift economy. How do you set expectations or teach people about the new rules of marketing and internet marketing? Because obviously there's two mindsets, and people are going to have a hard time really understanding these rules. I mean, is it as simple as giving them 10 steps, or is there like a mindset change you have to sort of teach?
That's actually a good question for both of you, sort of like what we were just talking about outside with Beats, wouldn't you say?
Sure. You wanna jump into that, and then we'll hand it over to Sean and Kirk, and we'll dive into it.
Yeah, why don't we?
Great. Yeah. So an example of this, we were talking about the show today, and how does this internet marketing stuff relate to small retail businesses, mom and pop shops, especially here in the Austin area. Is a massive opportunity around the world for old school businesses to take advantage of these new techniques, and it's a lot easier than people think. And I'm a huge fan of Beats Raw Foods on 5th Street by the Range Rover dealership, and I eat there probably every single day. And I really want them to succeed and be successful, and I was sitting down with the owner during lunch today and started to share a few ideas with her about how they can grow their business from this little brand new restaurant into a global empire. And you can really do that much easier today. And the whole concept is that your restaurant, for them, or any retail store, whether it's clothing, jewelry, or whatever it may be, it was really an information studio more than a restaurant, meaning people aren't coming to eat at Beats because they want to eat raw food. They're coming to eat at Beats to eat raw food because they want to be healthy.
Exactly.
And the raw food is just a tool to acquire that health. And she can take that message globally on the internet using Facebook and using YouTube by sharing their recipes online with the rest of the world, starting an online newsletter and charging $10, $20 a month. And at that point, you now have a multi-million-dollar business spanning 100 different countries around the world. And the restaurant is really your creative studio where you create the recipes and you film the videos, and you can have experts come in and do health seminars, and that's where the product is produced, but it's distributed online through, again, social media, which we're going to dive into here in a minute. And now you go from a 5-mile prospect radius or customer radius to a completely global one, and it transforms it from a restaurant that does maybe a couple $100,000 a year in business to one that does tens of millions.
Talk about a shift. I mean, that's amazing. What's your take on that, Sean?
Yeah, I mean, what I would say about that, I mean, it's so key what he's saying. And, the caller was talking about the shift. Remember the Rubik's Cube? And
yes.
There were certain guys that could just look at your Rubik's Cube and say, what, just look at it like this. If you turn this, there you go, I did it. And they were able to see something in a shift that maybe you couldn't. And it is important to take a look at the leverage that you can get by putting your message out there once and then just benefiting from that while it's out there, like you said prior to the show, speaking to millions of people. Sales are the natural effect of being the expert. If you're the expert at a particular thing, then people are going to want to chase after you and get what you have to show them as far as your expertise. And so if you focus on being the expert and pushing that out there, whether it's blogging or video or whatever, then the trickle-down effect that is just common is the sales that come from that. And that's kind of what Mike's talking about is, of course, they're going to sell more raw food because the general community knows them as the expert and they feel a part of that community. Community is really big right now.
And that's where the attraction marketing actually comes into play, because now people are looking to you for guidance for, if they want to have that experience, so to speak. Is that right?
Yeah. I mean, Michelle and I, one of our favorite restaurants in town to go to is Wink. We typically go there every week and sit in the bar, and we know the entire staff, and Mark and Brendan and Kirk and all those guys. And
hold on, I got to know something. Are you getting endorsed by all these restaurants? Because so far, we got Beats and Wink for everyone out there. Hey, Doug, by the way, is this helping?
Oh yeah, I mean it's a great discussion. I actually just wanted to ask something to pick the brains of your very bright guests. So I got a lot. So that does help. Thank you very much.
All right, beautiful. Stay tuned in because we're going to really go into depth here, okay?
All right, cheers.
Thanks for calling in.
And, if I could just say something here, one of the things is a lot of times as business owners, with something that we are so immersed in, we'll say, well, anybody can already know that. They just have to Google that word or Google that phrase, and they can get that information. It's easily accessible. Why am I just recycling information? And I was at an event once where someone framed it as the filter, like you are the filter. People are looking to you to shortcut their time and become the expert, like you were saying, Sean, and be able to filter the information so that they can get it quickly and easily by being part of your community and your tribe.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So anyway, before I interrupted you, Mike, you were saying I was giving you a hard time about the
I'll have to take in a copy of these of the show, and hopefully we'll get some goodies from that. But no, so it's about establishing that rapport with your favorite vendors and restaurants here in town, and we all have our favorite places we go to, and Wink is a great example. It's our local Cheers. We walk in, everybody knows your name, and so how can you take that relationship with your best customers, your best clientele, and then extend it to the online world through Facebook and through Twitter, to where you're no longer just this brick and mortar store, but the owners and the chef or the expert, clothing designer, whatever it may be, is now a part of your family. And, as the store owner, I want to be posting pictures of my family during Christmas time and sending well wishes out to everybody. So it's creating this personal bond instead of just a business relationship. And the more value that you can give, as a great example from Wink is if they get some local produce in, maybe they fly it in from Australia, or, some fresh seafood, an uchi from Japan. And, Tyson, who owns Uchi, comes up and he gets this amazing new fish flown in from Japan overnight, and he throws that up on Facebook, and he's like, oh my God, you guys have to try this. Come on in tomorrow night or make a reservation to experience this dish that I'm going to prepare for everybody. Boom, you're booked within 5 minutes. You have this reach. It's not up to whether or not people come into the door and you're keeping your fingers crossed that people are going to walk in and you're going to do business. Now you're proactively going out and fostering those relationships, and you control the business. You have the switch, turn it on or turn it off. And that's really the opportunity here.
It's so key. It's so key what he's saying. And the listeners to the show are, your listeners are growing every single week, Paul, because they realize that it's here that they're going to find the answers, the shortcuts about how to do business and market in this internet age. And what you're talking about, Mike, is to understand that advertising, and Kurt's got some great stats in regards to this, but advertising used to be very transactional. In other words, if I buy enough billboards, right?
It was very linear too.
Right. Then I'll have these transactions and people come and buy my stuff. Whereas what you're talking about, Mike, is that if you create this community, that you'll actually grow a relationship. As in any relationship, it takes time to build. But once you've built that and there's trust there and credibility, then it's a shortcut to, like you said, fill your restaurant or get your business or anything like that. What are some of those stats, Kurt?
So actually, there's a couple of different ways to receive information, obviously. So let me just give you a couple of stats. I mean, there are a lot of people analytical out there. Can I do it? Small business, large business. Here's a couple of things I want you guys to think about, just really quick and easy. So right now, visiting social sites is the 4th most popular online activity. It's actually ahead of checking your email. Now, the other thing is you used to pay to play, advertising on billboards, or just paying overall to attract customers. Mike said something that's key, and it fits perfectly into the show because, I mean, literally it's an overall shift, and it's this. 14% of people in a recent survey trust ads. 76% trust consumer recommendations. Friends. So think about this stat. 65% trust friends. 27% trust experts. 8% trust celebrities. So Mike's exactly right. What happens is you come into a small restaurant, large business, whatever, you just get a couple of people to say something positive. It used to be, I love that restaurant, and we would just have the conversation here internally. Now it's online, it's social, and it affects thousands of people instantly. And you're right, you can book an entire restaurant in just a couple of hours by releasing something online.
And you know what's interesting? It's actually the experts that'll influence those friends, and then the friends are the ones that have the power, to influence people. Listen, it's time for a short commercial break. Hold that thought because we want to actually dive into it with a little bit more detail. This is Austin Talk 1370, The Right Choice. You're listening to The Shift Economy. We'll be right back with Kurt, with Sean, with Mike, and my hostess with the mostess, Ricky Neer.
That went fast.
It did go fast.
The Right Choice.